Let's talk about the role of ultrasound in assessing fetal nuchal cord in pregnant. What is nuchal cord? Let's define what a nuchal cord is. A nuchal cord is a condition where the umbilical cord loops around the fetal neck. And how are you going to notice this? Maybe some of the things that you're going to maybe think that there's a nuchal cord or there's a loop around the fetal neck. One of the issue is there will be reduced fetal movement. That's the major thing. Mothers will come to the hospital, mothers will come to the clinic complaining about the reduced fetal movement, and then you will be advised to do an ultrasound scan. An ultrasound scan is the best tool which is available to assess if there is any cord around the fetal neck. So why will you do an ultrasound? To assess this. One, we want to rule out any other abnormalities, because the reduced fetal movement does not really necessarily mean that the reason for that is a nuchal cord. So we want to make sure that there is no other abnormality or there is no other condition that is causing the baby to have the mother to have or the fetus to have reduced movements. So after that, then we look at the fetal neck just to make sure that there's no nuchal cord. If it is there, we want to know how many loops of the cord are looped around the fetal neck. And one, again, we want to assess whether the looping of the umbilical cord around the neck, is it loose or is it tight? And then we also want to look if it's tight or whether it's loose. We also want to assess the blood flow in the umbilical artery, because you realize the umbilical artery is the umbilical cord encompasses the umbilical artery. So we also want to look at the blood flow in the artery, in the umbilical artery and the umbilical vein, just to make sure that the blood flow is not compromised. So I think that's one of the reasons that we are going to do an ultrasound, just to assess and to make sure that there is no nuchal cord around the fetal neck. Again, once we assess it, if it's loose, if it's tight, there's always a solution. If the blood flow is compromised, we'll want to communicate this to your medical team who are handling you at the clinic, so that if there's something that you can do to save the baby, then it can be done. So once again, I've said this information we have been given. God has given us this information to just make our life better, just to make sure that we improve our lives. So once you are told to do an ultrasound to rule out this, kindly just do it. So I've always said ultrasound is a simple procedure, is a painless procedure. There's no pain involved when you're doing ultrasound, and I'm sure it's most of you have done it. So encourage someone, if someone has been told to go and do it, kindly just do the scan, because from it we can get so much information that we can use actually to save your baby or to save your unborn child. Because at the end of the day, the pregnant or the baby that you're carrying, we want that baby, because God was given you the baby, and we believe that God is a faithful God, is going to carry this pregnancy term and have a safe delivery and have a baby, so that at least all of us, we can be happy. Thank you, and have a great day ahead.